ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
And now for a devotional song. It will be sung this evening by Sanchari.
Sri Krishna Govind Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. Sri Krishna Govind Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. Ekmat Swami Sakha Hamare, Ekmat Swami Sakha Hamare, He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. Sri Krishna Govind Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. बंदे गृह के तुम अवतारे कहीं जन्मे कहीं पले मुरारे. बंदे गृह के तुम अवतारे कहीं जन्मे कहीं पले मुरारे. किसी के जाए किसी के कहाए है अद्भुत हर बात तिहारी. गोकुल में चमके मथुरा के तारे, गोकुल में चमके मथुरा के तारे. हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा. श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा. अधर में बंसी हृदय में राधे बट गए दोनों में आधे आधे. अधर में बंसी हृदय में राधे बट गए दोनों में आधे आधे. हे राधा नागर हे भक्त वत्सल सदैव भक्तों के काम साधे. वहीं गए जहाँ गए पुकारे, वहीं गए जहाँ गए पुकारे. हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा. श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा. राधे कृष्ण राधे राधे कृष्ण कृष्ण राधे कृष्ण राधे राधे कृष्ण कृष्ण राधे कृष्ण राधे कृष्ण कृष्ण राधे कृष्ण राधे कृष्ण कृष्ण राधे कृष्ण कृष्ण राधे कृष्ण कृष्ण.
We are recording from the ashram of our revered Guru Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda in Miami, Florida. Today is December the 9th, 2018, and on this Sunday evening, Swamiji continues with the lecture series on the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. This is series 2018, lecture number 23. And now, our revered Guru, Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Karma Yoga, chapter 3, and verse number is 9. You are being given profound insight into the role of karma in your life. And first, simple message has been given to you that you have no choice. You can't make a choice between karma and no karma. You are not between two fingers. You see this. It's much more complex. Akarma, no karma, that's your goal. But you can reach the goal only through your karma. But how to perform your karma and the insight behind it, that you must develop. So it has been pointed out already that you can avoid many actions, but niyat karma you cannot avoid. Every day you have to sleep. Niyat karma. You have to wake up. If you want to wash your teeth, wash it. You can't have. Niyat karma, you have already, your life is moving with certain program and you have to follow the program. The niyat karma is what's called pravaha patita karma. It's like a river flows on. You want to take a bath in the river, don't worry about where the river is going and where it is coming from. Plunge yourself. Duck in, enjoy it. Because the same river will not be there even for a few seconds. It's constantly flowing. Ninth verse. Yajñarthat karma nonyatra kaloko yam karma bandhana tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Only those karmas, those actions bind a person which are not performed for the sake of yajna. Yajna is sacrifice. Therefore, O son of Kunti, that's Arjuna, perform actions without attachment and with dexterity for the sake of the divine self, for attaining God realization. The term sacrifice or yajna will come many times, and Gita will point out in later chapters different varieties of yajnas. Yajna literally means sacrifice. To the masses, their eyes shine up with the idea they're going to sacrifice a goat or a lamb or a sheep, or even buffaloes, who knows. And old scriptures go on giving you stories of sacrifice of horse. People take it literally. You must know scriptures are not to be taken literally. Scriptures speak of demon heroes having many heads, And big bodies, giants, you can't become that simply by reading that. So, moving away from that point, coming to the topic. Yajna implies sacrificing the enemy in you. Put it more. Sacrificing the animal in you. Pashu. And though I have talked many times, but talking again and again, same thing is Dada Parinyaya. There are 8 characteristics that turn a human being into animal. Those 8 are called pashas, fetters. Ghrina, contempt. Lajja, being so modest, talking with such passivity that one does not dare unfold the spiritual potentiality. The lajja is a kind of a tricky quality. When you are great and gracious, that also is called lajja, but that's very advanced and is commendable quality. But led by illusion of your mind, let me give you crude illustration. You want to go to satsanga. But then your near and dear ones, they say, why to go to satsanga? Come have popcorn party. Now if you were to think, if I go to satsanga, I will be hurting all these people. So when you have that type of shyness, then you are following the illustration of being a frightened rabbit. Be a lion, not a rabbit. So that rabbit type of movement looks quite smooth and cozy and cute. But that's not. That's called lajja. And that one must shake off. There are many areas in life where you should have lajja. But when it comes to love of God, there should be no lajja, nothing to restrict you. Bhaya, fear. Shanka, doubt. Jugupsa, gossiping habit. Kul, pride of family line. Sheel, pride of culture. Jati, pride of caste or order in your life. These points I have discussed before. And they are called Ashtapashas, 8 fetters. And that's why people do Sastanga Namaskar, called Sastanga. 8 parts of the body touch the floor, symbolizing the will to remove these 8 fetters. So these are the animals that you need to go on sacrificing in your life. Anger, sacrifice it. it becomes love. Fear, fearlessness. And so forth. All the virtuous qualities develop when negative qualities are eradicated. Practice of integral yoga in daily life, that's what we mean by being a yogi. Turning your actions into karma yoga, doing your duties with profound insight, love of God, developing devotion to God, bhakti yoga, that allows your emotions to follow a divine track. Practice of focusing the mind, allowing the mind to be organized, all the ducks of your mind to be in a row. That's called dhyana yoga. And the ultimate, the knowledge that brings about a revelation of who am I, that's jnana yoga. Every personality, every person has 4 strings in the personality: action, emotion, will, and reason. Matching up to these, those are 4 yogas. And as you progress on your path, understand all the 4 are always blended. But you can highlight any one of the 4 and become more. You can say yourself, I'm karma yogi. Or you can say, I'm bhakti yogi. But always understand, no matter which way you want to identify yourself, all those 4 points are inseparable. Action relates to your emotion, your feelings. All that relates to your will. All that relates to your understanding. You can't just choose one. All the 4 must go on. And if you are really succeeding on the path, then integration occurs in your personality. That movement is the path of yajna. Anything that obstructs, you go on putting it in order. And that process of sublimating anger into love, pride into humility, and so forth, that's called yajna. It's a broad term. And it is a very simplified message from the sages. Paropakaram dharmaya papaya parapidanam. The secret of path of virtue lies in paropakar, doing good to others. And the secret of committing terrible vices, hurting others. Be good, do good, that's a simple message. If you are following that, then you are following the path of yajna. Those actions that do not follow this spirit of yajna, they will cause karmic fetters. But actions that are following the stream of yajna, they will lead to bhavana shuddhi, purity of your feeling, The more karma, the more you involve yourself in utilizing your energy, greater is your internal feeling, greater your spiritual ascent. Just allegorically, if you are in the ordinary level, you become very happy and joyous with very little things. As you advance, your joy will be for attaining something substantial, profound. And ultimately, your joy will be to go completely beyond your egoistic pride that leads you to absolute humility. Namah. That's what every mantra repeats, neither me nor mine. So if you use the mantra Namah in your activities and your attitude, then it becomes yajna. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform karmas, mukta sangha. With this attitude, if you are performing karma, then automatically you are not being drawn to the world of time, space. You are not being drawn to the law of karma that defines your future on the basis of how your karmas have been performed before. And that's the big mathematics, the divine mathematics. Not a single karma goes to waste. All karmas have their. But that karmic problem will chase you if you do not have the spirit of yajna. Because the spirit of yajna puts you in the hands of God. You become nimitta matram, you become an instrument in divine hand. Once you are in his hand, what can karma do to you? So that's called asanga. You develop a movement that is not restricted by the world. The great illustration for asanga is the sky. Clouds gather in the sky, they do all types of things, positively, negatively. But the sky remains untouched. Develop that type of vision of yourself. Welcome. Live your life with a spirit of welcoming whatsoever God presents to you. Welcome. And do your best facing whatever challenge and whatever situation presents itself, do your best. And while doing that, understand you are in the hands of God. Therefore, do not calculate in your mind, now these karmas, how long it will take for these good karmas I have done to bear fruit. But before it bears fruit, the old karmas are haunting me. Let's find an astrologer who can calculate all that and put my mind to rest. Not go after that big illusion. The moment the spirit of yajna enters, this whole karmic process, you begin to transcend it. No matter what karma, no matter whatever situation you face, situation that looks like adversity, but your mind develops a special, acute, foxy nature turns adversity into prosperity. And so forth. How do you turn adversity into prosperity? By facing it with perfect understanding, devotion to God, and wait, watch with patience, and not holding contradiction in your mind of constantly developing the idea, I'm so miserable, I'm so little. If you don't do that japa, I'm so fortunate. I'm with human embodiment. God is within me, leading me on. That japa should start. This is the practice of mukta sangha. You have nothing to do with karmas and their karmic process. And no matter whatever karma brings out, you are untouched. Your hands are bandaged in a divine way. Tadartham karma. And do your karma expertly, dexterously. Never develop the idea, oh, this karma is useless. Jnana is the only thing. So, instead of cutting vegetables, cut your fingers. I'm joking. Sahayagnyah prajah srishtva purovacha prajapatihi anena prashavishyadvamesha vostishta kamaduk. In ancient times, Prajapati, Brahma, having created yajna along with all beings, said, may you prosper with the help of yajna. May yajna yield the fulfillment of all your desires. Okay, have to fulfill the desire. What the Gita points out is the deep-rooted, instinctive truth, which is a special blessing for all human beings. And I will remind you of 8 Atma Gunas. It is instinctive in every soul to develop these 8 qualities. Daya, compassion. Imagine if your heart has never felt tenderness. How miserable is your heart? So everyone, all human beings, in fact all animals and birds have all this innate, but I'm focused on human beings, that they can listen to me. So all souls enjoy act of tenderness, compassion. Kshanti, forgiveness, not to hold grudge against anyone, but completely forget it. And if you want to rationalize it, you must realize everyone has defects. And even if you don't have defects, still you cannot harmonize with everybody around you. So there will be always a challenging situation. But if you have a profounder art within yourself, you learn to adapt and adjust. Let me remind you of one of the episodes of Kabira. It's a Birbal's story. Birbal. Once the king eats up a lot of eggplant, the first time he has a taste of that eggplant, and while eating, he went on glorifying it, how wonderful it is. And he asked, how does the eggplant look like? And the servant brings the eggplant with a beautiful nail knife up on the top. And Birbal was close by, and Akbar says, isn't that such a delicious food? And Birbal says, yes, Lord, that's why God has put a crown on it. Next day, he complains, I could not sleep. It created a terrible situation. Storm raged in my stomach. It's a very terrible thing to eat. And people said, oh yes, oh Lord. That's why God has put a nail on its head. That person. But didn't you say God has put a crown on it? God said, oh Lord, I'm your servant, not the servant of the eggplant. Moral, adapt, adjust. So, as I was leading you to understand, the instinctive qualities of the soul, called Atma Gunas, so compassion, forgiveness, called Kshanti, Anasuya. Anasuya means effortless. Rather, let me put it now, Anasuya means freedom from grudge. Freedom from fault-finding nature. Next one is called Shaucham, purity. Next one is called Anayas. Ayas means effort. Anayas means effortless. Effortless here is allegorical term for spontaneity. How does a tree grow? Or the bud blossom? It has a spontaneity about it. Big changes occur, but the tree doesn't write its biography. Otherwise, every tree will give you volumes of story. So many things happen and so natural. Same thing is possible with already many things have happened to you, spontaneous. That spontaneity becomes much more profound when you relate yourself to God. Next point is the Mangalam. You face your future with positive mind. Things are going to be more and more auspicious because your future is enlightenment. And it is not karmic future. It's eternal law. Every soul must attain enlightenment. With that vision, no matter what you face, it's Mangalam. It's good. And going to deeper meaning of Mangalam, it allows your mind as if to melt. You don't live with a restless mind, with a stressful mind. Mind becomes light, like cotton fibers or silken fibers floating over your head. Tickle your head a little. Akarpanyam. And you develop generosity. Karpanya means miserly. Everything you are looking for. What am I going to gain out of it? That's the question constantly rises in the mind. That's called karpanya. And that puts a person into miserable state. You are constantly putting yourself into a hole. But akarpanya, a generous view comes within yourself. God has given me an opportunity to see the stony heart becoming soft, to enjoy a good feeling entering in the heart. It's much more than green money. I shouldn't distract you like that. So that type of akarpanya, you have amazing resources, every individual. Resources of allowing your heart to be a treasure, source of goodness, kindness, generosity, humility. Lastly, aspriha. Aspriha is non-covetousness. Not to grab others' attainments or constantly keep your mind agitated by looking at what others have. These are the great qualities that begin to develop if you follow the spirit of yajna in your actions. May yajna yield the fulfillment of all your desires. When these qualities go on developing, the climax is param tripti, absolute fulfillment. And let me recite you some verses from Tulsidas. Parahit bas jinke man mahi, jin kaha jag durlabh kachu nahi. He whose mind is deeply involved in doing good to others. He whose mind has become addicted to doing good. For such a person, nothing is impossible in this world. Nothing, Durlabh. That we have to figure out whatever you think you want to attain. You want to attain God realization. You want to remove problems. You want to promote happiness in the world. Or you want to succeed in whichever way. Nothing is impossible. If your heart enjoys doing good to others, that has a highlighted sentiment, feeling within your heart. परहित सरिस धर्म नहीं भाई, पड़ पीड़ा सम नहीं अघमाई. There is no dharma, no religion greater than doing good to others. You may go on saying, I'm this religion, that religion, I'm Vaishnava, I'm Shaiva, I'm this, I'm the great Buddhist or this. You go on showing all the pride of what type of faith you follow. But in your conduct, in your life, you do not rejoice helping others. But helping others doesn't mean only in material way. Big help is enabling the people to become relaxed, positive-minded, with their burden of misery being alleviated gradually. And ultimately, the greatest good you do to others is to inspire others to follow God, the path of God realization. So if you become involved, another point to understand that spiritual movement is never a selfish movement. If even with little flowers it blossoms, it's not a selfish movement. It blossoms not to put out its fragrance to its father or mother. It's open to all. But living a life that destroys human values of kindness, compassion, and degrades people by showing their power. Look, how great am I? You stupid one who didn't do the good karmas. Look at my power. And so forth. That's demoniac. नर शरीर धरि जे पर पीरा, करहि ते सहहि महा भव भीरा. Having attained human embodiment where all these wondrous experiences await you, and misusing this all opportunity, and drawing to yourself frightening situations, bhavabhira. The world process itself is a frightening process. You come back again and again and again. In the 11th verse, Devan bhavayata nena te deva bhavayantu ya parasparam bhavayantah shreya parama vapsyaya parama vapsyaya. May you satisfy the gods by the performance of sacrifice, performance of yajna. Now, general view is that as you do yajnas, gods come and they watch. And gods are nourished by human beings performing the yajnas. If human beings stop performing the yajnas, gods have no kitchen, etc. They begin to starve. So that type of relation exists between human beings and gods. But that's allegorical. What it implies, when you develop the spirit of yajna in your life, as if you are opening window, you are living in a room all closed up, and now have opened a little window. The moment you have opened it, you have offered your yajna to God. The sun god suddenly jumps into your house. The wind god begins to enter in your house. To the extent you open, to that extent gods begin to bless you. So your act of opening is like food for gods. And when they get food, what happens? Now the gods enter, following that simile of the room that's dark, and now the breeze comes in, the sunlight comes in, and see what happens to the whole house. It lights up. Similarly, when you allow the spirit of karma yajna to enter your life, all the divine resources within yourself, they become active in a progressive manner. In a more practical way, your virtuous qualities begin to develop and your negative qualities begin to vanish. Anger, hate, pride, miserliness, gossiping habit, all these negative, they begin to vanish. And the divine qualities begin to develop. Divine qualities, they nourish your higher self, allow the higher self to shine. And when it happens, then the demoniac qualities become undernourished. They perish. May you satisfy gods by the performance of yajna. In turn, may the gods, thus satisfied, enhance your fulfillment. good karmas you do, and God begin to highlight the virtuous qualities. As you begin to enjoy the blossoming of good qualities, you do more good karmas. So it's a both way supplement complement process, thus assisting each other. May you attain the highest good, and that highest good, attainment of self-realization. And with this I am going to conclude. Om. And prayer for health, long life, peace, prosperity, and enlightenment for all of you. And a special prayer for Sri Lakshmi. Okay. On her birthday. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukuva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshyamamritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Mritam Gamaya Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Hari Om.